We are live. Hey. If you are on this broadcast right now, live, I need you to do something. I need you to share this with a friend because we have the Israel Robinson on right now, and we're about to talk about why we vote. So while we're getting there, I need you to go ahead and share this. Share this with a friend. Share this with somebody's mom, your cousin that stays on the street. Share it with them. We're getting ready right now, so just share it. Come on in. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you're watching it live or you're watching it playback, we want to thank you for joining us. This is the Pens Program podcast, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. We're just trying to get prepared on our end and make sure that everything is looking correct. But if you're joining us, shout out to you. Shout out to you. All right, so look, we are live, everybody. Let me get my other device really quick so I can engage with the people. Got a lot of devices going on over here. Give me 1 second, trying to make sure that I can. All right, so how are y'all doing tonight? If you're on this thing, how are you doing? Talk to us tonight. In the meantime, in between time, just know that we are live. And if just know that if you have anything that you would like for us to know or share, definitely please let us know. All right, so let's get into this a little bit. Let's talk about this Israel. Let's talk about why we vote. Let's talk about this. First off, man, let's talk about how did this come about. First off, let's introduce ourselves. Let's go back a little bit. So I'm Demetrius Dew, and if you're wondering what the PENS program is, that is a program that I founded probably about 3 years ago now, 3 or 4 years ago. And so PENS stands for Providing Educational Needs and Support. And so we had a podcast earlier this year during the pandemic. And so we had to come back. We said, look, it's time for us to engage people that are watching and listening, that our vote matters right now. And so that's who I am. And I'm excited to have my brother and my friend, a powerhouse. If you don't know this man now, I guarantee you're going to know him in a couple of minutes because anytime he says something, it's powerful. So that's who I am. Israel Robinson, could you please introduce yourself to the people?
Man, D-Do. Hey, I appreciate you, man. So a little bit about myself. My name is Israel Robinson. I am currently a senior at South Carolina State University, and my major is political science. Also, I am a part of, I'm a 2019 graduate of NAACP Next Gen, as well as currently a civic engagement democracy fellow with the Youth and College Division with the NAACP. So yes, sir. I'm just excited, man, to get into it today while we vote. I know this has been, me and Dude have been talking about this for a while, man. We just, I know every conversation that we have is a powerful conversation. And I just know I'm looking forward to getting in tonight, man.
So let's talk about something really quick, Israel. Since we're here, let's talk about something really quick. So we came together tonight to talk about why we vote. Why is it important to vote? But let's go back a little bit. So since March, since the pandemic started, our world as we knew it has been flipped literally upside down.
Literally.
From the news to people dying because of the coronavirus, police brutality at an all-time high. So let's talk about that for a little bit, man. What is your feeling right now, or what are some of your feelings and emotions just going back from like March until September? Everything that has been happening. What are some of your emotions?
Man, so I went to, well, all of us, you know what I'm saying? We went to spring break, you know what I'm saying? Went to Miami, was blessed for the opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to have a good time with my friends and everything, and got the news that Corona was, starting to spread and everything. And next thing you know, we never ended up going back to school. So It's been interesting, man. It's been I know, you know, me and you keep in contact a lot.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a challenge, to say the least. But I think it's something that is shown is necessary. You know what I'm saying? I think it's something that had to happen for not only like humanity, but just like where we were going. You know, I think we had to be I think we have to remember to slow down, and I think a lot of times where, you know, we're taught to, you know, like give me, take, you know, so you gotta, you know, be the best you can possibly be type stuff.
You gotta grind.
Yeah, if you gotta grind and nonstop, you know, there's no stopping. But I think with Corona, it showed us like, you know, yo, it's sometimes you have to take your time. Sometimes you need those necessary breaks to stop, you know. So to answer your question, I'm grateful for it. There's been a lot of blessings, you know what I'm saying, like great blessings during Corona, but it's also, you know, we've lost a lot of angels, man, and you know it hurts, but I know everybody that we lost this year, we're gonna take with us into the coming year. So that's how I feel so far, man, about 2020.
So literally, that's a great response, right? But I want to ask you something, because you said, and I know we're all in this place where it's like grinding, right? Like we're just focusing, we're trying to grind, trying to be the best. But Corona has now provoked us and almost arrested us, right? Said that, you know, you need to slow down and do things differently. How do you now, check this out. How do you now deal with the reality of I need to slow down, but there's also a mandatory responsibility towards voting? How do you now in the middle of that say, okay, Corona, you taught me this.
Good question.
Right? Corona has taught me to slow down, but the magnitude of this moment says mash the gas.
Got you. That's a good question, dude. You know, it's unfortunate, you know.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, goodness gracious, like people.
How much more can you take?
Yeah, how much more can we take? But I feel like, okay, so I think Corona has enlightened us. Or maybe those who maybe weren't, you know, well read or you know, understood those issues when it comes to civic engagement, all those type of things. And not only that, just like, you know, the health disparities, all those type of things. That's, you know, especially towards African Americans. So it's kind of like it's taking off that veil, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like when it comes to answer your question, I think it possibly has showed us, you know, why we have to, you know, like why these things are so serious. Because beforehand, I know it may be unfortunate when it comes to, you know, like, dang, like everything has been hiding now, you know, like everyone's at home. Like no one would have thought in 2019 that Corona, you know, this would have happened. But at the same time, without it happening, I don't think people would have been able to, you know, speed up the process of like, yo, like, you know, with Trump being in office and all these things, like these things has happened because maybe we need to be more civically engaged. Maybe we need to, you know, like you said, mash the gas a little bit and, you know, turn on the, you know, hiding the stakes, you know, because a lot of times, I feel like we've gotten comfortable. We were comfortable moving into 2020. Just kind of like, like a lot of the truths that we weren't looking at, and not just, you know, just when it comes to the country, but maybe just, you know, when it comes like eternally with things like that you may have been battling, you know, personally, like personal issues. So, like really, you know, I just feel like the stakes needed to be hidden for a lot of reasons.
So check this out, Izzy. You had a great point when you said this is a moment where those that may not have been enlightened can get enlightened, right? But you know, this moment may have took them for a whole swing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a minute. How do we now help those that may not know the magnitude of this moment? How do we now educate them by either, you know, instructing them or encouraging them to get a part of an organization? Like, what do we do? Because I think the only way that we can really maximize on this moment is to have as many people on board as possible. But it's one thing to be on board, but it's another thing to know why you're on board, right? Yeah. So how do we now like really dial in on the influence and information so that people know, hey, this is something that literally has been going on for years, and this has to be the breaking point.
Mm. I definitely would say hiding the awareness to the fact that the change starts with yourself. You know, there's accountability that each of us have to, to be aware to the issues. Now, not saying that, there aren't, powers, that try to suppress that information. But when it comes to, I just feel like where we are now, when it comes to like the technology that we've been blessed with, just at the tip of our fingertips, literally to get the information, literally to get registered to vote, literally to do those things, right? So for me, I just think it's dialing down, like it's letting us know that the change, the America that we want, we have to display within ourselves, So like maybe that other person that may not be, that that may not have that education about civics and all those type of things,
Mm-hmm.
they can, they might see you, they may see a Demetrius do, and they're like, he's a leader in his own right. He's doing this and doing that. He's talking about the importance of voting and those type of things. So I think to answer the question, it starts with us. It starts with you assuming the responsibility to be like, my ancestors, at least as an African American, that my ancestors fought enslaved literally for this. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like they endured the toughest time in human history for this. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when it comes to and just expounding on your question, and I want to,
go ahead, bro. Go.
Connecting with, with African Americans, like,
go ahead, go.
Literally, like we have to bring our faith to the polls as well. Like a lot of times, we go to church on Sundays, and like we have like this kind of like just like this uniform approach to everything. You know what I'm saying? But like we have to like faith just isn't just like, okay, I'm gonna have the faith in like I hope we win. I hope America becomes the America that we needed to be type stuff. No, like our ancestors came over here, literally had no type of no handouts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, none of that. And with them enduring like all those like strifes and just sadisticness, they were able to change America. They were able to change the system that wasn't even meant for them. So like when we ask ourselves, why do we vote? When we ask ourselves, dang, like why do I have to, or how can I get engaged? It's literally, like I said, taking that responsibility within yourself. And in at least for African Americans, when it comes to taking that responsibility within yourself, the responsibility also is knowing your history. It's also and his knowing it in the way that you're taking that approach that is bigger than me. I'm not, you hear a lot of stuff about like some people saying, oh, like I don't like both people. I don't like Biden, Harris, or Trump. So like like or I don't like Biden, Harris. So I'm just not gonna I'm not gonna vote type stuff. Literally, like it's bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than you. So I just to answer the question, like just not thinking about yourself and thinking about the historical struggle and the fact that you are the next footstep. You know what I'm saying? So
and, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean like the next, like you are the next. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to our whole struggle in this country, like, and if you're African American, like you're up next now. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like a lot of times we read the history books and we're like, okay, like, dang, that happened. Like Rosa Parks did this and Martin Luther King did that. It is now the present time where your vote is resistance. Your vote is you being your own Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks. Like that's what you're doing. You're taking that responsibility. So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So let's transition, because I think that's so good. We talk about the history. We talk about now that is your responsibility, right? To get up and do something that people look at us and they say, maybe because he's doing it, we need to do it. And realizing that this has literally been something that people have fought for, died for, you know what I'm saying, were slaves for, right? So many different things. So let's transition really quick because this is good. So we talk about the history of African Americans in one angle. So let's now talk about the HBCU responsibility. Because if anybody should know the importance of this moment is HBCU students. And so let's talk about that. Let's talk about do we know as HBCU students and graduates now, do we know the importance of this moment? And if we don't, either just let us know, man. Like, we are, in my opinion, are probably some of the front runners. You name Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, you name some of these people that are very proud graduates of HBCUs, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a moment. HBCU students across the nation, what responsibility do they have in this moment?
I would say, okay, starting off with HBCUs, like our historical, like, relevance in for, social activism and all those type of things, right? Like you said, with mentioning Martin Luther King being a HBCU graduate and educated by HBCU. So that, like, getting back to the Black person, like, and us talking about the Black person's, responsibility, you know what I'm saying? And like taking this time to be, the leader that you want, the leader that that you you need to be when it comes to, like, what your history has, reflected, like the people that came before you, right? So tying it back into HBCUs as well. So HBCUs have always been breeding grounds for the struggle. Like, what has happened? What we're not enjoying the liberties that the some liberties that we have today as Black Americans without our brothers and sisters at HBCUs and leading that movement in that way. Like I said, I feel like it's us knowing now that we're just that next step. Like I really just feel like we're literally just that next step when it comes to, it is now our time to take that torch as HBCU students and be, proactive to say, hey, and I'm not saying that this is easier said than done, but to be proactive in the sense that say, like, it's in my blood. You know what I'm saying? It runs through my veins.
So it's not only just being proactive now, right?
Yeah.
It's also taking ownership of the moment.
Yes, taking ownership of the moment. So yes, the HBCUs need to take ownership of the moment. Yeah. HBCU students need to take control of the moment, because like it's terrible circumstances. It's like no one dreamed of this, but I think we're more than equipped. You just think about, like I said, the people who've come before us. It just lets it, it lets us. It just makes it, if anything, solidifies the fact that we can do it, even though we're facing hard, tough times. We can get out and like 2020 showed, riot and possibly burn this thing down. Like, because crazy. Yeah, I'm sorry, I keep getting away from that. Did I answer your question on HBCUs though? Like, and just
no. I think you did. I think it's good, one, that we know that we have a responsibility, and then take ownership of the moment. And I think that's what any HBCU graduate should be doing right now. And like you said, it's better said than done, or it's easier said than done, right? Yeah. Because and I think this is a good point too, that realizing that everyone has a different place in this movement, right? Mm-hmm. So I was talking to my grandma, or like some older people one day, and you can't be calling them, telling them to come out and do a march. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, they older, bro. They don't put their years in. You know what I'm saying? They got their stripes, but they still can contribute in some type of way. And so everybody, I think we all have to realize too, is like, just because I'm not making calls, or just because I'm not in the street, that doesn't mean that the work that I'm doing in whatever capacity that it is not effective.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's no first place either. There's no
first place. Yeah.
There's no first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, in movements, and like for example, in the 60s, it was all tactical. You know what I'm saying? It was fights of people literally, like, of our people strategically planning, you know what I'm saying, to do these type of things, to endure the dogs, to endure, the resistance that they were going to get for trying to march to for freedom and stuff like that. So yeah, like for sure.
Yeah, I think, man, if and just seeing how the HBCU grads and students, everybody just kind of corralled Kamala Harris too. I think that shows us right there a smidget of what our unity can do. And we're just talking about her running for office. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With Joe Biden. So just imagine, bro, if we now get inspired not just by her, but by the actual content or the information that attached to the movement, bro, we really have longevity.
No, facts. And then when you think about another reason to, especially why Black votes matter, right?
Yeah.
We're not able to hold a Joe Biden accountable to say, yeah, we need a Black woman on this ticket type stuff. Like if Black women aren't voting the way they were voting, right? If Black women aren't stepping up the way they were stepping up, we're not able to get a Kamala Harris at the start of this movement, right? So when we think about strategy for African Americans, Kamala Harris is that. At the end of during the Civil Rights Movement in the '60s, we didn't have a Kamala Harris in office. So when you think about the importance to get to the polls, to be represented, for you to be represented, in this country, like that's the pure way for us to get anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And that's definitely a start. But I can go all day about Kamala, so you can't.
Yeah, bro. We know, bro. So check this out, though. You said a statement which is crazy. Kamala Harris is strategy. That is, I want to go with phenomenal. Let's say that a phenomenal statement when we talk about strategy being mirrored in what was, right? And any type of movement that Black people did, Kamala Harris is strategy. How do we, bro? What advice would you give to people right now that are trying to create their footprint in this movement, and they haven't necessarily looked at Kamala's transition or her success story? What advice would you give them in like taking notes? Because like you said, she's strategy. So what better person to study right now that's trying to help Black people than her?
Got you. So do you mean like what do you mean like necessarily?
So what would you tell them? Or I guess because you work with Kamala Harris like one-on-one, so you like her probably mind, her goals or whatever. So what would you tell them that they need to study about her and some of her moves to be able to better identify what they want to do or what they can do to impact this movement?
Got you. You already know, I love me some Kamala Harris.
We know. We know.
But I would rather say because at the end of the day, even within our community, we're able, if we're blessed to have the opportunity to get her into office, she's a I called her a Black Panther in the suit. You know what I'm saying? Like she is the epitome of what what Black and get, what I'm saying, what being, there's so much I can say. Like she is the epitome of what I feel like, what morality stands for in politics today. When I didn't think, those type of politicians even existed type stuff. And like I said, like no one's perfect. She's not perfect by any means, but like when it comes to what she represents, for me, like my little sisters having that, that not desire to not, I'll say like my sisters, like my little sisters, they don't have to worry about, not being able to be the president of the United States one day because of Kamala Harris. They can say, I can go to HBCU, I can go to, Howard and make it. And not only make it, I can be effective for my people. I can be effective for this country, And when I say, effective for my people and everything, like a lot of times I'm actually happy now. Like this year, it's starting to get more popular. Like, you know, Black culture, we can say like, yo, like you don't hear too much like, oh, if Black power isn't means you hate everyone else. It isn't that, you know what I'm saying? Like Black power, especially this year, like I'm love that how Black power is now standing for like, one, I love myself, but I'll also represent and have something within me to help this country move forward. You know what I'm saying? I have blood within me that pushes and changes narratives, you know, that completely squash it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, kill strongholds, you know? So yeah, like when it comes to Kamala, man, uh, it's the opportunity. It's an opportunity for us to, you know, for us to say like, we can form an identity, you know, within, whether it be within, you know, the Democratic Party, like we can form identity in this time right now, uh, and you know, have our voices and have our issues heard at the highest level.
No, I think that's such a good point too, bro. Because we talk about Kamala Harris being at the highest level of influence, right? And we talk about how it now can impact our community at large. You say your little sister, you know, even, you know, your actual regular sisters, you know, that are maybe older than you. And you think about just the HBCU phenomenon that's starting again, as far as, you know, globally or, you know, on a larger scale. So I think as we talk about why we vote, it's important to know that who we're voting for has the potential to really infuse our community to not just be one track minded when it comes to success, right? When it comes to implementation or when it comes to suffering for something, right? And like you said about identity. And so now we can identify ourselves with what was created for us. HBCUs.
Yeah.
Athletes may the best athletes in the world may start running the HBCUs again, you know, as we have seen it already.
Mm-hmm.
So let's segue really quick and let's talk about some stuff because we're about to close up soon because this is the first one. We don't want to give y'all too much. We want to just, you know, this is the pre-launch, right? This is the initial launch, and so we don't want to go too strong. But Izzy, as we close up, let's talk about some ways that somebody can get engaged and get involved right now. They may want to know, I want to help, I want to support, I want to make phone calls if you're making them, I want to go knock on doors. Where can they go right now?
That is perfect. So if you guys have, I know everyone's on social media. So if y'all can actually take y'all phones out and follow the NAACP YC page on Instagram, also on Twitter. And there, so there's a link in their bio where you'll actually be able to get involved with a state campaign. So if you're in South Carolina, we need you, man. It's called SE Votes. So I'm actually the head of, a civic engagement democracy fellow, a part of the SE Vote project here in South Carolina. So a part of, you know, things that you guys will be doing, if you do want to get engaged, you know, we'll be, you know, phone banking, texting. We've already we sent out so many texts thus far, and you know, we're just trying to, you know, a little bit more about what you do. So you actually be in charge of calling 20 people, so and just holding them accountable. You know, letting them know that what the early voting period is coming up, October 5th through 24th here in South Carolina. Ways you can get registered to vote, all those things. Moving into October and throughout the duration of this election season. So yeah, and also one more thing though as well, they can So when you go to NAACP YC and actually are able to access their Instagram page and the link in their bio, they will. There's also you can request absentee ballots. You can request, and then some other links as well. Vote.org. They have all the information for you to just be aware for all the things that you need to be aware for.
Got you. And so look, that's a wrap. It's 7:30. Like I said, we don't want to be on too long. This is the first episode of Why We Vote. Maybe not episode. Let's go with discussion. Either episode or discussion. We haven't determined what that'll sound like just yet. But I want you all to really be tuned in with us next Monday. This is now my co-host Israel Robinson to my left. Yeah, I think it's to my left.
Your left,
Yeah, to my left. I'm trying to make sure that it's not looking like that on the screen. Like I didn't know if
Yeah.
it was like that. All right, so yeah, to my left we have the Israel Robinson, and so we're talking about why we vote. Now the good thing about this discussion is since him and I will be co-hosting, we're gonna be bringing on guests. We're gonna be bringing on guests to like really drive it home because we know that the presidential election is not the only important election that we have, and so we gotta dig in deep, right? Because we gotta take everything right now that we deserve and that is ours. And so, Izzy, do you have any more words for the people before we log off?
Hey man, vote. So that's the only thing, man. Vote. Stay tuned with us.
He got it on his shirt, man.
Got on my shirt, man. Bro, you see, bro, Vans and NAACP collabing, man. Bro, let's create collabs, man. That's what we do, bro. You know, that's what voting and chasing our dreams and saying being the best we can be. That's what can happen, man. We doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? So, anything y'all need with hopefully we are able to answer those questions for you. We're able to get you hype about voting, man, because there's a Chinese proverb that says in strange times not that one, not that proverb, not that proverb.
Not that one.
Yeah, not that one. But I know these are may you live in strange times. That's the proverb. Yeah. May you live in strange times. And just a little bit about that, just like a lot of throughout times people thought it was like a curse, but it's not. It's not a curse. Strange times is supposed to represent like may you live in like these times that show you that the what's it called, the things are hiding now. You know what I'm saying? The everything is just hiding in of more importance, and it's a unique year. Every year, like 2020, every year hasn't been like 2020. Every year hasn't. This is a unique year. So I look at these as strange times. So like in these times, we'll forever remember what you did in those strange times.
That's good. That's true.
So I almost lost it though. I almost lost the proverb, man. Like sometimes, I'm not too sharp. I'm not the sharpest. I'm not the sharpest. Cat, but I try.
Hey, no worries, man. This is the first one, and the first one is always the one where you got to get the kinks out. When you're rising, about to get off the, So we're good. We're good. So yeah, again, man, share this. Let somebody know, man, that we're talking about the importance of voting, and we're actually answering some questions, multiple questions of like why we should vote. African American students, African American graduates of HBCUs, and even PWIs. It's not just
we all together.
We're literally all together, and so what we need for you to do is tell a friend that Israel Robinson and Demetrius Dew are on at 7:00 on Mondays talking about why we vote. So share this. Shout out to you. Thank you for watching. And so as the people do on YouTube, I got to do it too. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like, do that after you watch this video, even while you're watching. All right, we'll see you next Monday.
See ya.